Today for the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency prices. Dear ladies and gentlemen, people are asking, is this the Black Monday? Should I sell everything right now? Well, let's talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening right now is a very clear, crystal clear scenario for me. And I want to tell you also, what am I doing with my portfolio? What am I doing with my trades? I will show you everything openly, transparently. Did I get wrecked or not? We will talk about everything. Before going into it, and I will tell you exactly what I think is the best course of action to do, how to understand this current scenario right now. I want to remind you on one thing. And do not get me wrong, right? It's not that I predicted here everything exactly to the point how it is happening. But you do need to give me credits right now for one thing. And I'm just saying and almost demanding it because I got so much people laughing at me, being angry. Like, I made this video 2-3 months ago, Bitcoin and crypto, the biggest crash in history. Hear me out. Where I talked about this chart here, predicting a Bitcoin and crypto and stock market crash in Q2 2025. Well, it is Q2 2025 with April, and that's exactly what's happening. It's exactly what's happening. And on no occasion I ever said anything else but Q2 as my target of the beginning of that crash, right? And I have to admit here, yes, I did think we are most likely going to do it maybe in May or something, right? Like maybe not immediately in April. And I also thought, hey, or I hoped, I have to say, we are most likely going to go higher before it is going to happen. Just 109,000 was a little bit, didn't really think it would be just 109,000. But yes, I said Q2 is exactly the time when it will happen. And this is also when it did happen now. Now the question is, what is the best course of action right now? Well, let's circle back a little bit and I will talk about my trades. I will show you everything, of course, as always. This is what we are here for as MMCrypto community. I'm always trying to be as transparent as possible. The best course of action in my experience is the following. Circle back 5 years, March 2020, the big Black Monday we had with this pandemic, right? Many people I know, they sold and they thought they were so smart. Bitcoin was at 6,400, crashed down. They sold within the crash at like 5,000 if they were lucky, 4,000. And they were like, yes, let's go. And Bitcoin went down to 3,200. But back then the targets were like 1,500, 1,200. It didn't happen. And those people, even they didn't sell at the exact bottom, they never got the re-entry. And we were all looking at them when Bitcoin went all the way up to 69,000 US dollars. They were sitting on the sidelines. If you are selling within the crash, even though it might go lower, it is almost impossible to find an entry point which is reasonable. If it goes further down, you think it was wrong. That it immediately goes up is very unlikely. The matter of fact is, if you are selling right now, you are realizing losses from the last few weeks. This is actually an action. If it's going down and you are selling within that time, based on emotions, you are basically realizing losses from the last few weeks. And how I actually outperformed the market on average by far throughout the last 8-9 years since I started with crypto, and somewhere in the beginning of 2017, was by just doing nothing. And I have billionaire friends. I'm telling you, this is exactly what they're doing. They just lean back. You can put your balls into the sun and just relax, right? This is exactly the blueprint of how money makes usually more money. You are, of course, you can create a cash flow, you can add value, you can make money, but with your portfolio as a long-term investor, you just sit it out. That is exactly what I am doing. And yes, I mean, going here straight into my trade, you can see that, this trade is still at a profit, not as much as it was before, $2 million in unrealized profits, and realized profit $7.5 million US. But you do remember that I did take actually 50% of this trade off the table in, when was it? In January at 104,000 US. As you can see there, the realized profits. I did that actually, and I showed you here live in the video also. I did that for a few reasons. Number one, of course, I thought I knew, and I knew in the end what was about to happen in Q2. And I also saw everyone is extremely bullish, so let me take 50% of my profits because it feels really bad to do so right now. If it feels so very good for you to sell right now because the markets are going down, maybe that's a sign that it's not the smartest thing to do. So you can see, yes, I am sitting it out right now, especially with my hodling portfolio, and I already know that it's most likely the best course of action for the following reasons. The cartel usually turns it around. When the markets are crashing down, this is why we saw the interest rates crazy increasing. In times like this, they want some room to breathe, to decrease the interest rates to support the market. The money printer will probably go on through the secondary market. We are going to pump more M2 into the market to prop up the markets. Are we going lower? Most likely. But if you are selling right now, you are banking on the scenario that this is an apocalyptic scenario which is irreversible, which is, looking back in the past, an unlikely thing. Eventually this scenario is going to come. But as a Bitcoin holder, isn't that exactly what we were preparing for? And this is something you can let me know. Like and share this video with your friends. We are going to see you very soon at the next of MMCrypto. As always, guys, as always, bye.